Hello students, in this lecture series we are going to study electromagnetic field theory. This is as per module 2 of BTech physics syllabus of AKTU Lucknow. My name is Sujit Agarwal and I am associate professor of physics in the Department of Applied Sciences and Humanities, Kamala Nehru Institute of Technology, Sultanpur, UP. So, let us see what are we going to learn. In the electromagnetic field theory, we will understand basic equations of electricity and magnetism and some mathematical concepts, and then we will see how to write equations of electricity and magnetism in differential form and what is continuity equation for current. After that, we will see how we can modify Ampere's law for time varying case and what is displacement current. The modification of Ampere's law brings what new effects, and after that we will understand Maxwell's equations of electromagnetic Maxwell's electromagnetic equations, and then we will discuss propagation of electromagnetic waves in free space, transverse nature of electromagnetic waves, propagation of electromagnetic waves in dielectrics, in conducting media or lossy dielectric, and we will also understand the effects like skin depth, and lastly we will understand Poynting theorem, Poynting vector in momentum carried by electromagnetic wave and resultant pressure etc. In this lecture, we will understand fundamental laws of electricity and magnetism, namely Gauss's law, Faraday's law, Ampere's law, and non-existence of magnetic monopoles in nature. So, these are the basic equations of electricity and magnetism. This equation is Gauss's law. This Gauss law says that the total outward normal electric flux from a closed surface is proportional to charge enclosed by the closed surface. We will understand these equations in detail in the coming slides. This second equation is Faraday's law. It just says that when magnetic flux associated with a closed circuit changes, an EMF is induced in the circuit. In this equation, left hand side represents induced EMF and the right hand side is the negative rate of change of magnetic flux associated with the circuit. This is Ampere's law, and this Ampere's law says that the line integral of magnetic field along a closed path is directly proportional to current enclosed by the closed path, and this equation represents that the magnetic monopoles do not exist in nature. It means in a magnet north pole you cannot separate north pole and south pole. Magnet is you cannot have magnetic monopoles. So, we will understand these equations and these laws in detail in the coming slides. Here on the left hand side you see the integration is closed integral, while on the right hand side the integration is not closed integral. We will understand what does it mean in the coming slides. Let us understand the physical picture of these equations. Before understanding the basic laws of electricity and magnetism, let us first understand what is electric flux and what is magnetic flux. What is meant by electric flux and magnetic flux? It is said that electric flux associated with a surface is the number of electric lines or forces passing through the surface normally. So, let us consider this figure. In this figure you see this area, surface area S, and these red arrow lines. Suppose these red arrow lines represent direction of electric field. So, if these lines represent direction of electric field, we can consider a small area ds. This is small area ds. Surface area ds is not vector quantity, but we can express it as a vector, and when we express it as a vector, its direction is supposed to be normal to the surface. So, this small arrow is along normal to the surface. How to evaluate electric flux associated with this surface S mathematically? So, what we do? We take the component of electric field along normal. This black arrow, this is along normal, and if direction of electric field makes an angle theta, if direction of electric field makes an angle theta with the normal, then component of electric field along normal will be E cos theta, and the electric flux passing through the small area ds will be E cos theta into ds. Now, if we want to know the total electric flux passing through the whole surface S, then what we will do? We will integrate this over the whole surface S. So, this integral is surface integral. So, we can write this equation in vector form, and if we write this equation in vector form, then this is surface integral E dot ds. Okay. So, mathematically electric flux can be evaluated by evaluating this integral surface integral E dot ds. Similarly, if we consider a surface S in the magnetic field, then we can evaluate magnetic flux as surface integral B dot ds. Now, Gauss's law. Gauss's law says the total outward normal electric flux from a closed surface S is proportional to charge enclosed by the surface. Consider this surface S. This surface is a closed surface. Closed surface means closed surface is a 3-dimensional idea. Closed surface encloses a volume. this surface is not closed, this surface is not enclosing any volume, but closed surface will enclose a volume. So, this surface shown in blue color is a closed surface, and this closed surface is enclosing a charge q. The total outward normal electric flux from this closed surface can be evaluated by this integral, and this is proportional to charge enclosed by the surface. This says Gauss's law. Now, come to Faraday's law. Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction you have already studied. What does it say? It says when magnetic flux associated with a closed circuit changes, an EMF is induced in the circuit, which causes an induced current in the circuit also. So, induced EMF is equal to minus d phi by dt. Here phi is magnetic flux, phi is magnetic flux. Okay. Let us consider this figure. In this figure, let us consider path C. This C is a closed circuit, and this is placed in a magnetic field. Then what is magnetic flux associated with this closed circuit? You can integrate B dot ds or B ds cos theta. Ds is a small element of the surface. Which surface? The surface enclosed by this closed path C, and you should note it that the surface enclosed by this closed path C is not a closed surface. Path C is closed and it encloses a surface, and this if you integrate B dot ds over this surface which is enclosed by the closed path C, then it gives you the magnetic flux associated with this closed path C. Now, what is induced EMF? What is EMF? EMF is energy given by the cell or energy required to flow unit charge through the circuit, and energy is work. So, actually energy is the EMF is the positive work done in flowing unit charge through the circuit. Now, electric field is force on unit charge, force on unit charge. Electric field is force on unit charge. So, this integral, if we evaluate this integral E dot dl over the closed path C, then what you get from this integral? Force into displacement, this is work done, positive work done in flowing unit charge through the circuit. So, this is equal to induced EMF. So, write this integral for induced EMF and this integral for magnetic flux phi, then you can simply write this Faraday's law as this equation. This equation is integral form of Faraday's law. This is Ampere's law. What Ampere's law say? Ampere's law says that the line integral of parallel component of magnetic field along a closed path C is directly proportional to the current enclosed by the path. Consider this figure. This is a wire carrying current I. If I consider a closed path C enclosing this wire, and if I integrate magnetic field along this closed path C, this integral B dot dl is evaluated over this closed path C, then this integral is proportional to current enclosed by the path. Here I is current which is enclosed by the path. If path is not enclosing this wire, then this integral will be equal to 0. Okay. Here current I is only that current which is enclosed by the path. Now, let us generalize this equation. Suppose it is not the wire, but there is a region where currents are flowing, and in this region current density is J. What current density? Current density, unit of current density is ampere per meter square, current per meter square. So, these red lines, red arrows, these represent direction of current, and either you can say direction of current density. Now, if we consider a closed path C in this region, then what is the current enclosed by the closed path? Consider a small element of the surface ds, and you can write, you can express it as a vector. If you express it as a vector, then it is normal to the surface, and J, current density J, is making an angle theta with normal to the surface. Which surface? Surface which is enclosed by the closed path C. Then current J is ampere per meter square, it is current per unit area. So, current through this small element, current through this small element of surface will be J dot ds. Current passing through this small element ds will be integral J dot ds. Now, if I integrate this integral J dot ds over the closed, over the surface enclosed by the closed path, this surface which is enclosed by the closed path, if I integrate J dot ds over the surface enclosed by the closed path, then I get the total current enclosed by the closed path. So, if I substitute integral surface integral J dot ds for current I here, then I get Ampere's law in this form. This is integral form of Ampere's law. On the left hand side, it is closed integral. Closed integral, it is evaluated over the closed path, but on the right hand side, the integral is evaluated over the surface which is enclosed by the closed path. This surface is not a closed surface. So, I do not represent this integral like this. This integral is evaluated over the closed path. and this integral is evaluated over the surface enclosed by the closed path. Okay. Here mu is permeability of the medium. Similarly, wherever epsilon has come in the equation, it is permittivity of the medium. E represents electric field, B represents magnetic field, J represents current density, I represents current. Okay. Now, come to the next slide. This this is about absence of free magnetic poles in nature. Magnetic field does not have sources and sinks. Magnetic field lines are closed curves. See this magnet. These magnetic field lines, you show them the direction of magnetic field. You take this direction of magnetic field from north to south outside the magnet, while it is from south to north inside the magnet. Magnetic field line is closed curve. So, if you consider a closed surface in the magnetic field, the magnetic field lines of forces are entering from one side and emerging from the other side. So, total outward normal magnetic flux will be 0. This integral shows total outward normal magnetic flux from a closed surface. So, if I consider a closed surface in a magnetic field, then total outward normal magnetic flux will be 0. Why it will be 0? Because magnetic lines of forces are closed curves. Magnetic field does not have sources and sinks. Now, compare it with electric field. In the electricity, you have free positive and negative charges. Electric field, direction of electric field due to positive charge is away from positive charge, while in case of negative charge, electric field due to negative charge has the direction towards the negative charge. Electric field. Now, if we consider an electric dipole, you see this positive and negative charge are kept close to each other. In this case, the electric field line starts from positive charge and ends at negative charge. Electric field line starts from positive charge and end at negative charge. But in case of magnetic field, the magnetic line of force does not start from north pole and end at south pole. The magnetic field inside the magnet is from south pole to north pole. Magnetic field line is closed curve. So, in case of electricity, you have free electric charges, but in case of magnetism, you do not have free magnetic charges. Now, how to write these equations of electricity and magnetism in differential form? Before writing these equations of electricity and magnetism in differential form, we will understand in the next lecture some mathematical concepts like vector function and scalar function, gradient of a scalar function, divergence and curl of vector function, line integral, surface integral and volume integral. We will also recall divergence theorem and Stokes theorem, which are used in deriving differential form of laws of electricity and magnetism, and then we will derive differential form of laws of electricity and magnetism in the next lecture. So, till now we have understood equations, laws of electricity and magnetism, fundamental laws of electricity and magnetism in integral form. Now, how to derive these laws in differential form? To derive these laws in differential form, we will understand in the next lecture some mathematical concepts such as vector function and scalar function, gradient of a scalar function, how this gradient of what is the physical meaning of this gradient of scalar function, and then we will understand how are divergence and curl of a vector function defined, and what do they express physically, what do they represent physically, and then we will understand what is meant by line integration, surface integration and volume integration, and we will also recall divergence theorem, which is used to convert surface integral into volume integral, and also Stokes theorem, which is used to convert line integral into surface integral. These equations are useful in deriving differential form of the laws of electricity and magnetism. All these 4 laws will be derived in the differential form, and we will do it in the next lecture. We will collect all the integral all the fundamental laws of electricity and magnetism in integral form, and by using these simple mathematical concepts we will derive differential form of those equations. So, that this is all for this lecture, and thank you.